So we hit through kind of a progression of drills we did just to warm up our middles, get them focused on footwork before we went into our transition at the beginning of the drill, or at the beginning of our practice. And I guess our first thing we did is we were just focused on our first step. So obviously middles need to cover ground, get pin to pin quickly, so they're gonna have to take a first step, a little bit of a first step. And so for us, as they take that first step, we're just gonna have them get at about a 45-degree angle with their foot pointed out, and we just want them to drop their hands. So from a ready position, their hands are up, and we just want them to take a step and drop their hands. There's a tendency for some players as they begin to do a big swim move with their hands or take a false step backwards, and we just want to be really quick and efficient with our first step. So we did a drill, and we didn't do a ton of it today. We just worked on kind of 2 each direction just to get them warm, but it was just a step and drop your hands and get back in line. And then from there, after we work on our first step, we're obviously working on our crossover, and this is going to be an explosive step. So a little bit similar to how, not that we're going slow to fast, but as we're taking that first step, on this next step through, we want to do a big crossover and really drive hard, and we're going to keep that 45-degree angle with our feet. So for us, we obviously, if we keep our feet facing straight towards the net, it's hard to get that crossover and really explode into it because our leg's kind of blocking us. So we want to have that foot open at a 45-degree angle. It's going to open ourselves up a little bit better, and we want to keep that 45 so that when we end up jumping and doing a full block move and pressing, we can get our shoulders square quickly and really press and penetrate over the net, because we're obviously trying to take up space as we get over the net. Once we get to the outside here, we're trying to get off the net, we're trying to transition quickly, because as a middle, it's our job to be up every time, no matter what. So as we get here, we're in a block. Our big thing is no matter where this ball gets hit, we need to get our eyes on the ball right away and know where it is. Because as a middle, this ball may be coming shooting back at us, the ball may be being passed off the net, we need to know where it is so we know where we can run. So as we're getting off here, we open ourselves up to the court, we see where it is, and we go right away. So as they're taking a step, they're going to take that first step and cover ground with this step. What we see sometimes is people turn and look and take 2 little choppy steps or whatever it is, don't actually cover any ground, and that's just wasted time in terms of getting back off the net. So we're trying to get off the net quick so we can get back on the net quick. So we've opened up, we've taken that first step, and we see where the ball is. Regardless of that, for us, if we're blocked on the right, we're going to get to a point that's kind of right by the setter, near the 51 zone for us, so we can go in for a 51, or we can come back for a slide. That's going to give us options, because obviously you never know where the pass is going right away. You never know necessarily what you want to do. It gives you options as a middle to call something in transition. So from there, we always want to be opened up to the ball. So as I'm coming off to the right, we're always going to open up into the court. So if I'm on the right, I'm opening up and taking that first step with my left. If I'm blocking to the left, I'm going to open up with the right into the court. From there, I'm opened up to the ball. So if the ball is passed to the right, I'll stay open, keep it in front of me the whole time, and then approach to where I need to go. So what we are trying to avoid is having the ball go over our head, losing track of the ball, and getting our eyes on the setter. Because when the pass isn't perfect and you look at the setter, there's a lot of times where you're just going to run straight into them, or you're going to leave too big of a gap, and that ball is really telling you where it's going. And especially on like a 51 where you're going to where the setter is, you need to know where that ball is going so you keep the right distance the whole time through. For us, once we get off the net, and as we're trying to approach back on, the reason we're getting off, trying to get behind the 10-foot line in an ideal world, ideal situation, is that we can take our 3-step approach and drive hard. But regardless of where we are as the middle, those last 2 steps, for a righty, the right-left on that approach back needs to be hard and driven hard, and that's going to give us our kind of explosive move and let us hit hard. And the other big key for us that we're working on is when we're in transition, we get back to the setter. When we're in a 51 and a 31, we need to make sure we get our left foot back around and we're opened up to the setter here. Especially on a 31, we transition into where we're trying to hit a 31. We need to take our first left step out into the court and then get our right-left back around because we're trying to go straight up. What we're trying to avoid is fading away from the ball or dipping our shoulder. We want to be straight up and face the setter so we have options on where we can hit and hit all zones of the court because we never want to cut ourselves off. So some keys for us that we're working on with the middles. First, in terms of blocking, we're trying to get a big crossover step and cover ground, be explosive into our block move as we get shoulder to shoulder with our left sides. And then as we're transitioning off, we want to make sure we're opening up into the court, taking a big first step, covering ground in our transition. And then when we get back to the net, our key is we want to make sure we're always open to the setter on the 51 and 31 especially, and making sure we're available and we can be able to hit to all zones.